Hi, I'm Dr. Jim Hoven. Today we're talking about the key to postural longevity. It's called ergonomics. Stay tuned, it's coming up right now. Maybe you've heard the statement, sitting is the new smoking. You know what? That's absolutely true. But it's far more than just sitting that can crush our posture and make our muscles have the wrong tensions, the wrong lengths, the wrong curvatures. It's how we sit, it's how we stand, and it's how we lie down. All of those things have an impact on how we move through the world and how our body reacts over time to what we call microtrauma. So I want you to think about something. And you can even try this at home. If you sit down and you slump your head and you slump your shoulders so that you're moving downward, so you're really creating kind of a C in your back where you're looking down. From that position, try to rotate your head to the left and the right. So if you have just a second, try that now. Slump way over and rotate your head left and right and just notice how far you go. Now, sit up real straight and tall, shoulders back and down. And from this position, now turn your head as far as you can to the left and as far as you can to the right. What did you notice? I bet you noticed that you could go a lot farther when you were in an upright position than when you were in a downward position. See, here's the thing, when your torso starts bending forward, you actually start decreasing the ability for your diaphragm to move, for your lungs to open up and get more air in. You also lock up the movement segments that allow your head to move as far. So the longer you're in that position, the more stress you're not only putting on your posture, the muscles and the joints, but also on the organs inside your torso. So that's just one example. But with sitting also, what'll happen is people will cross their legs a bunch and have their same leg crossed the whole time. They'll sit with wallets, or they might be sitting, and here's the triple whammy, sit with your leg crossed, typing at a computer, reaching out with your head like this. That's like breaking all the rules of sitting posture because you're stressing your pelvis from top all the way to the neck, or from your neck at the top to the pelvis at the bottom. Everything in there is biomechanically unsound. And the more you do that, the body starts reacting. So here's a great example. People who are dental hygienists or hairstylists, what are they doing all the time? They're reaching forward. And so many of those people that I saw over the years would get tons of tension headaches, pain across their lower neck, upper back and shoulders into their shoulder blades. Because why? As if you look at what I'm doing here, as they go forward, they round. And so now all these muscles in the back get very long from that rounding. All these muscles shorten. So if you're doing this 6 or 7 hours a day, pretty soon the muscle starts thinking, oh, that's where you want me to be. So it will start maintaining that posture. And in these toe on the front side, it's going to remain short. On the back side, it's like, I'm being stretched too much. So it wants to go back. So it now gets messages from the brain that say, we're not supposed to be this long. We need to tighten up. We need to try to protect this. And now all of a sudden you start getting knots in your back. And those knots can refer pain into your arms and shoulders, into your head and into your neck, even into your jaw. All of this stuff going on because of posture. Now, ergonomics and posture, basically they're synonymous. And what we can talk about with ergonomics is how do you stand, how do you sit, and how do you sleep correctly? So we'll kind of go through those right now, starting out with standing. So I'm standing right now. And if I have poor standing posture, meaning I'm starting to list forward, or if my hips are uneven and I'm going to the side, the longer I'm in that posture, the more of those problematic muscle patterns that I'm going to be showing. And over time, that leads to degeneration of the joints that are getting all that pressure. One way to fix that is through exercises. And you would need to go to a professional who understands postural movement, postural exercise, to give you the exercises that help your spine and your body get strengthened the opposite way of how they're being held. So in other words, people, you might have heard of scoliosis before. It's where if you're looking at the spine from the front, instead of being straight, it goes like this. There's some sort of S curve in it. So people may sit like this. And if that's the case, we need to get exercises to pull this part, torso this way and get the head back over the center. That's really specific stuff need to be done by a professional. But if overall you're pretty straight from the top, the first thing we want to look at is your arches. If your arches are too high, then that might mean that you're pushing the weight to the outsides, and we need to work at getting some soft tissue work done to stretch and relax the muscles of the bottom of your foot and your calves, sometimes even your hamstrings and glutes, in order to get that arch to balance. If your arch is too low in a lot of cases, then the answer to that is putting in an orthotic into that arch to give you a firm, stable stance or platform to stand on. Now, once we take care of the bottom at the foot, the next thing that we need to do to make sure our standing posture is good is kind of an alignment, super simple, of thinking of your shoulders and your neck being aligned over your hips or your pelvis. So if I'm looking at you from the side, if I take my shoulders back and down and then put my head over my shoulders, that's about where I should be. And if you've done this before, it's going to feel kind of uncomfortable if you're used to going like this, or if you have a genetic curve in your back like I do in my mid back that is really increased. It wants to push me forward. I have to focus on getting my shoulders back and down. And so it feels weird. There's even for some people, there's braces to help hold them up here when it's severe enough. So think shoulders back and down, head over shoulders. And that's how you should try to walk around in the world. And it'll take some time, but your muscles will get used to it. Now, if we switch from standing to seated, the biggest thing about being seated is to make sure that when you are sitting, that you're sitting on what's called your sits bone. So a lot of people will either slide way back in their chair so that they're angled back, or they're sitting hunched forward like this. You want those sits bones to be flat on the chair, and then you want to be sitting very upright. And if you maintain that posture, you again should be able to turn your head nice and easy compared to if you slump. You'll notice that's kind of a good signal or a trigger that you're slumped over too far. Now, when it comes to ergonomics of sitting in your computer, you would like to have a 90-degree angle at your knee so that when you're sitting, the height of your chair should allow for a 90-degree angle at the knee, where then the leg goes out and then the lower leg goes down to the floor. That you want that at a perfect right angle. And then at your elbows, you would also like the desk at the height of a perfect right angle so that your elbows are typing in this position right here. And finally, when sitting, if we're looking at a monitor, we want that computer monitor, the bottom third should be even with your eyes. Because if the top of the monitor is even with your eyes, then your head's going to be tilted to look down at the information. So look at having that screen where your eyes are at the bottom third level. That's going to be your ideal sitting posture, especially for typing, which most of us have to do. And finally, your lying posture. A lot of people think that lying on your back is absolutely the best way to go. And that's not always the case. If you can get in a side lying position where when you're lying on your side, the depth of your pillow or the thickness of your pillow is enough to keep your head straight. So if a pillow is too thin, your head's going to fall. That's going to put stress on your neck muscles here and on the joints on this side. And if your pillow is too wide, it's going to push your head away. So you want a pillow that fits this space perfectly. And by doing that, that's going to give you that straight spine and that nice stability when you're sleeping, if you're sleeping on your side. Also, sleeping on your side, it's often good, depending on how comfortable you can feel doing this, having your knees bent, and that's going to be comfortable. Or if you like having, let's say you tend to roll onto your stomach, you start on your side, but go to your stomach, you can take a full-length body pillow and lay that right next to you. And then it feels like you're sleeping on your stomach when you roll into that pillow, but the pillow is acting as a prop to hold you up and make it so that now you are actually on your side. Now, if you are a back sleeper, one of the things that you can do is you can put a small rolled up towel or something under your knees. That will give a break to your lumbar spine and pelvis. And to get a pillow, if you're on your back, that supports the curve in your neck right here. So in our spines, if our brain and our head is at the top here, the curve goes in. It goes in towards the nose and then comes back out towards the shoulder blades. If you can have a pillow where when your head goes over the top, it's supporting that neck, that's going to really save the curve in your neck. And then putting that slight towel, that rolled up towel or a small pillow on your knees, that'll give you the best balance in your lying, what we would call supine position. Lying on your stomach or lying prone, not really a good idea. Even though some people feel really secure and comfy like that, what happens is if you're laying on your tummy and you rotate your head because you can't breathe while you're face down in the pillow or in the bed, you got to turn your head to the side, and that can cause a lot of neck discomfort when done day after day or month after month. So those are the basic postures of standing, sitting, and lying when it comes to ergonomics. There's so much more in depth into this. There are certifications, there are degrees just in this field. So it's amazing on what can be done if you really, if you really put your mind into it. But if you want to learn more, you can follow any number of people or look this up on YouTube on ergonomics. But if you have questions specifically, you can reach out to me. It's jim@ramoslaw.com. That will get you directly to me. So I really appreciate your time. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And always remember, your health matters.